What's going on, everybody? Applersky back, as promised, by popular demand. Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings, Platinum Walkthrough Part 2. So, I'm greatly appreciated for the response this video's gotten. I planned on doing the whole series anyways, but now I'm just going to ramp it up and try to get them out as quick as possible. So, thank you for watching the first one and all the love I got for that one. Here's Part 2. Picks up in San Francisco. We ended the last video with the opening cutscene, but I did want to show you one thing here. In the previous video, I mentioned that the relics that you pick up don't have any like substance to them, but they actually do. If you go into your journal here, and this is actually part of a trophy, that's why I'm showing it. So down to fortune, and it'll show you like the treasures you picked up and a small summary of them. And there's actually a trophy for once you collect all of them that you have to kind of like read through them in your journal in order to pop that trophy. So it is important into the overall platinum experience. So I just want to make a quick note of that. So here we are, San Francisco, where my family comes from. I lived here for many, many years, and I know the city like the back of my hand. So this is artifact number 1. You're going to want to turn around and jump up that fence to grab that one. There's a total of 9 in this level, and that's why this video is running a little bit longer. I even cut out a lot of the combat, but this is quite a long level. So just bear with me, as you know, I try to cut out as much content as possible for time purposes. But yeah, so like I was saying, I lived in San Francisco for a good portion of my life. And I know it like the back of my hand. So it just, every time, the reason I bring that up is because every time there's a game with at least like a level in San Francisco, I get super like intrigued. And this is actually the one level from the whole game I actually fondly remember. But starting off here, I'm showing a little bit of combat because there's a trophy that you could possibly earn in this level. And it's throwing 100 throwable objects at enemies. Not 100, sorry, 25 throwable objects. It's not clear that you have to like knock them out with them or even just throwing them, but I tend to use them in combat, and it popped about halfway through the level. I'll show you where it popped for me, and here's kind of an example showing you that you can do that. And it actually does come in handy if you, instead of picking it up, you can like quick throw it by pressing square, and it'll like it'll knock enemies' guards back and what have you. So it's a useful thing to do in combat, plus it has the trophy. So yeah, he got me there. See, I still hit him with right there. So so yeah, just follow the main path again, you know, very linear. This part confused the heck out of me. Once I defeated all the enemies, I was like, where am I going? Like, my modern gaming brain led me to believe that moving this box, I could move it anywhere I wanted to climb up to a higher spot, right? But you can only move it back and forward. So after about 15 minutes, I realized that, oh, you just have to move it out of the way so you can bust through the window. So, for time purposes, I edited that out. Try to get that point across real quick to you guys. It was confusing the heck out of me for the better part of a half hour. So, so here we're gonna find in this little, it's like a counterfeit. They're like counterfeiting money back in this back room over here. And you're going to find the artifact number 2. It's just right up there on that box. You can see the money printed on the hanging from there. And they're just printing out money. Nobody's watching, but, you know, the money's just printing. So from here, you're going to want to climb up this box and through the skylight. And here you're going to get into, like, a pretty big brawl. And you just, you know, work your way towards that achievement of throwing the weapons, the objects at people. You could see me kind of floundering with my controls trying to pick that thing up. But there's enough enemies in this level, I feel, especially towards the end, that you can attain this achievement. I don't get it here. I get it, I think it's in like the next combat area. I just wanted to show it's pretty cool. Like, you could throw the pool balls, bap, knock the guy out. And this piano man, just once you clear him out, he's like, I'm gonna help you. She's up there. Like, while he's just casually playing piano while a brawl's going down. Very classic Indiana Jones. So then you're gonna head up the stairs, and this brute guy is gonna chuck you out the window and heed your progress. So after you dispatch him, you can go to this gate and hit it 3 times. It'll bust open, and you'll see a little cutscene. The guy runs inside of the building, and the building like blows up, or at least catches fire. It's full of fireworks, I guess. So then you're gonna want to hit a left before you go through that door, and you're gonna get your artifact number 3 right behind that truck there. Once you're done with that, then you just head on through the doors. There's a quick cutscene, or a quick time, so be careful. I died here, so you gotta press triangle pretty quickly, and then you get into a cool little. I didn't even know what I was doing there, and it automatically did it. So that was kind of a cool little cinematic gameplay event right there. And after I put a thrash into these guys, then we move on, and we're gonna find our next artifact. It's actually up there, but you gotta figure out a way to get up there. I think there's a fight in here too. Oh no, this is introducing you to the gunplay, which I actually really enjoy. Like, for this type of game, not being able to use your gun at all times, it's kind of like an on rails segment, which is kind of adds to like the cinematic indie feel. So it's tutorializing you too, so you can't really like pass it until you've done everything it's told you to do. So after that, you're going to want to shoot the dynamite. The other one to the right. And I don't know if it's my controller or what, but the aiming is very sensitive. But I have been noticing some oddities with the controller I've been using lately, so could just be my controller. There's no setting on sensitivity, so that's kind of a drag if that's kind of the stock, because it can be challenging to aim like exactly where you want to. But take this time to talk about something I forgot to bring up in my last video. This was okay, so this game came out in 2009, right? Which is well into the PS3's life cycle. Yeah, you're gonna want to bust this gate open to get up there. And I think the PS3 came out in 2006, right? So this is like one of the end of the line PS2 like single player games. And it was just a port from the Wii version. And so what happened was, I totally forgot, but I remembered after playing this level. And here you're going to grab a artifact 4, I believe that was. And then just, trace your steps backwards. So there was actually a game that LucasArts was making for PS3. It was an Indiana Jones game. And it would have been the first game to utilize the Euphoria engine, which is now, I believe, patented. Like, Rockstar bought the rights to that engine. It's the physics engine, which technically it debuted with The Force Unleashed. The ragdoll physics and how they if you're using the Force. And if the stormtroopers were up close with you and whatnot, they'd like hold hands to try to like help each other. Really advanced engine, physics engine. And there was a game that actually, like, after it got canceled, there was some leaked footage of it. It's out there on YouTube. If you look it up, just look up "cancel PS3 indie title," and it would have been the first to use that. However, LucasArts canceled it and put the whole team onto Force Unleashed because it's Star Wars, bigger money maker for them. And then after Force Unleashed, Grand Theft Auto 4 was the first game Rockstar used the engine for, and that pretty much changed the game for them. I'm pretty sure they own the rights to that engine now. It's part of their Rage engine, because all of their games since then have utilized it, and it's gotten better and better. So, just a little tidbit, I'll let you guys know. I forgot to bring that up in the last one. But that's why this game came out on PS2, because it was basically like a dumbed down version of that. There was actually in the footage, and here you go with artifact number 5. The concept video that I seen that was leaked was actually a level in San Francisco. So like this is like basically, you know, what we have left of that original PS3 Indiana Jones game, and that's why it came out such in the late, you know, pretty much the life cycle of the PS2 was dying out. But yeah, just little history lesson for you guys if you were unaware. So now we're in a gunfight in this hallway. Just a couple of guys you got to take out. And make sure you use cover too, because you could pop out at the wrong time. And I actually died quite a few times, not here, but like in some of the there's like a pretty large scale gunfight like later on. And I wasn't paying attention when I'd pop out. I wasn't looking at my health bar. So the rewind feature came in very handy. So here we're just following the linear path. I think another artifact is coming up here pretty soon. This is cool, the cat. I like, there's actually quite a few like small little details in here that I appreciate, like the cat right there, and then like if Indy falls from like a pretty like a large height but not enough to kill you, he'll like pick up his hat, or he'll like drop his hat and dust it off and put it back on. Like little details. I'm a sucker for little details. So this is kind of like a boss battle, if you will. You got to use the environment to take out the main guy in the middle there, because he, no matter what, you can't do damage to him with your gun. So took me a minute to realize it, but there's a lantern up above. You shoot that, and that'll cause him to flee backwards. And then a little on rails thing, move to new cover. And this part, the goal is to take out that water tower. So you got to shoot it a few times. Oh, and there's a guy over there to the left, so don't forget about him, because he can do some damage to your health too. So once you're free, once he goes into cover, immediately pop out and shoot that thing as many times. See, I got shot there, but it's leaking. So there you go, bam. And you gotta shoot the metal piece on that one. And this is pretty straightforward. Another lamp, and it'll get him to like, he'll go across to the next rooftop. And in classic indie style, you know. So now here we're gonna be shooting the water tower, and you can shoot it anywhere. That's gonna cause water to flood the area and him to slip backwards. And classic Indiana Jones whipping down to the next, ziplining down to the next building. Here you're gonna want to focus on the two TNT or the firework boxes, and you'll see what'll happen here. It's pretty cool. And finito for that guy. He's dead. So now you get to use your rope whip, and it's like a little quick time thing, so just be careful here. Make sure you press the right button so she doesn't fall into the electrified water. And I was put on Temple of Doom last night to see if this character popped up or if she was just made up for this game. But he seems to have known her, and I think her grandfather maybe. So I didn't finish the movie. So if you guys know, leave it in the comments if she's like a canon character to Indy. Because I really don't remember. And Temple of Doom is the one that she would have to be in because that's the one I watched the least. So, but you know, she tells you about what they were looking for and how they took her grandpa. Now this next part coming up, I probably wasted about 20 minutes or so trying to find this next artifact. And I'll have to say the solution is pretty clever. But yeah, once after the cutscene, you're gonna want to go. Oh, and this is also, I wanted to show you this too, real quick. You have a journal option where you can look at the fortunes you've collected for any level and read about them. So what I've been doing is I've been like reading about them as I'm picking them up, so I don't have to go back and after collecting every single one, like just read through them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just my style though. So anyway, you push this bookcase, right? But me being a gamer for so long, I have a feeling that there's something behind there. So I pull it out, and I can clearly see that there's an artifact in there, but it's not letting me through. So literally this had me stumped for like 20 minutes until I figured out, well, put it in the middle, and then you get like you can hear the bookshelf slide into place. So that's how you get artifact number 7. So, you know, just to help you out, because literally that took me like 20 plus minutes to figure that out. Now here, I was hoping that there was like a stealth option maybe to sneak by these guys, but ultimately I don't think there is. I just ended up jumping down, and this is where I got the trophy for. I think it's called Think Fast, where you use the throwing objects at your enemies, and there's a plethora of them in here. Tons of bottles. You just keep spamming square and throwing things at people, and eventually it should pop for you here. If not, no worries. It's an accumulative trophy. It's not specific to this level, so I even like punched this armor on accident, and then there was some more throwables. So this is where it ended up popping for me. But other than that, just you know. Yeah, Think Fast, that's where it popped for me. And see, on the other side too, tons of bottles, so you should have no problem getting this trophy in this level. But if you do, you know, like I said, it's accumulative. So anyway, pull that elephant trunk, it'll open this secret passage with this weird contraption of a chair, which I can appreciate. I mean, it's old school San Francisco. Chinatown is where it's taking place. And then of course you got a guy shooting at you, so there's a real quick time event. Got to be fast on here and just tap L1 and R1 at the same time. Make sure you don't fall off there. So he's trying to work the brake, and of course it starts loading. I don't know, but you end up in a secret cave with a freaking pirate ship, dude, buried. Like, I want to know, like, I've explored that city at lengths. I went places I wasn't supposed to go. I wonder if there's really a pirate ship somewhere underneath the city, because during the age of piracy, like, San Francisco was kind of a hotbed for it. The Spanish, another history lesson actually, the Spanish pirates were, you know, constantly in the Bay Area, and so much so that that's where the Oakland Raiders got their inspiration for being like named after pirates. But originally, for 9 days, their name was the Senors. I guess they did some sort of like voting for what the football team was going to be named, and Senors won because that's what the Spanish pirates in the Northern California would, were referred to as. So, but funny enough, it only lasted 9 days because there was no accent mark on a typewriter, so they couldn't properly write the name in the paper. So they picked the second best name, which I feel like is far superior. I am a Raider fan, and they went with the Oakland Raiders. So just a tad bit of history for you, Bay Area history, sports history, whatever. But that's artifact number 8. That's how you grab that one. Then you climb back up the way you came. Shimmy your way around. Nathan Drake style. And then you grab that thing, and that's how you're going to get, and then you're going to want to go down. I think this part I might, like I was talking about earlier, how he dropped from a height and he drops his hat. Yeah, see? Cool little animation there. And then you're going to want to rope pull this, or you're just going to want to push this, and it'll roll down the hill and break open breach the hull of that ship. So, gotta admit, like, as the game's going on, the environmental puzzles are getting a little bit, not difficult, but, more involved. So now you go into the ship here, and don't worry, that floor won't break as long as you don't cross back over it. You want to bash this door open, and then you're going to want to shimmy out. Make sure, yeah, you can die right there. So once you get that square prompt, hit it around the corner. We're going to find our next artifact. If you fall like that, just make sure you tap L1 and R1 rapidly, and you won't die. I should have just stayed shimmying there, but anyway, you have to shimmy across that spot, obviously. So that's what we're going to do next. And once you get across there, you'll spot on the left-hand side, you'll see the artifact, but you have to turn around and shimmy. There's a little area you can shimmy right there to get artifact number 9. And this will also pop you the trophy for collecting all the artifacts in San Francisco level. And it's kind of a long name. You'll see it on screen once I grab the artifact. It's Glimpse into Fabled Dynasty. So now we got one more trophy tied to this level, and basically by just finishing the level, so you go up here,
the Jade Sphere isn't here. Maybe Archie moved it.
once you pound through this door, you'll be greeted by a friend, classic Indiana Jones style.
You think we're fools?
And this is gonna be kind of like pretty like drawn out fight scene, pretty long fight scene. So I cut most of it just because I'm sure you guys won't have any problem getting through it. Tons of enemies. Just be quick on that quick time event too. It got me the first time. So a lot of weapons here. If you still haven't got the trophy for Think Fast, you can farm that here. But after pushing that last enemy off the ship, turns into a little shooting festival. And I wish I would have shot, like, you'll see, like, I take out the guys, right? Bam, 1. Bam, 2. And then I'm like, how do I get across? So I shoot these ropes off to the right. And I'm wondering if I would have just shot those, would that have, like, wiped them out and give me a different, like, cinematic or something? I don't know. But either way, swing across the gap. And there it is. the, the jade jewel or emerald jewel, whatever they call it.
Should have known it was you.
The sphere, Jones. Give it to me or you'll
And see,
break
that's
my eyes.
the little girl's grandfather. So he, classic indie style, fakes him out, gives him the wrong artifact, and attempts to make an escape. And this part here is actually kind of straight out of what I was talking about earlier with the canceled PS3 game. But because you're on a trolley going downhill and enemies are attacking, so you're switching back between like shooting, and then at one point you get on top of the trolley and you get into like fisticuffs with some guys, throwing them off and everything. So this is like direct. This is the best we're gonna ever see from that original PS3 game, which is actually, this still looks pretty good, and it's really fun. You get to switch back and forth between sides, and ultimately it is kind of challenging actually, because you got to take out the cars like before they get up too close to you, and they just blow away the driver. But on a side note, Chinatown in San Francisco is not this big. Like, this sequence could take up to like 10 minutes, and you can drive through Chinatown in 10 minutes with traffic. Like, just kind of funny. Not game breaking or nothing, but from somebody that comes from there, Chinatown is not that big. Not enough space to do all this high speed shootout. Somewhat reminds me of the bus fight on you can see how many times I died. Kind of reminds me of the bus fight in Shang-Chi where like there's no brakes or whatever. One of the best scenes probably of any Marvel film when it comes to like fight scenes. The one on the outside of the building is way better, but that one's still cool and special to me because it's in San Francisco. But once you defeat all the cars, mission's over, and
Magnus Bowler.
you should get the trophy for,
They got thrown out of the program for
I forget the name of it,
black market.
but
After that,
as soon as this cutscene's over, you'll get the trophy, and that's all for this one. You should have 6 trophies now if you've been following the guide. Once again, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on part 3, which takes place in Panama. So until then, Applersky out.